and welcome to Boxing Media Hub. We're proudly sponsored by Falcon Contracting and boxbets.co.uk, the home of boxing betting. Gamble responsibly, 18 plus, please. I'm delighted to be joined by Mr. Kas Hussain. How are you, sir?
I'm all right. How are you? How are you keeping?
I am good, matey. I am good. I'm Jam. I'm filling in for Joel on Boxing Media Hub today. And it's great to have you on, mate. Great to have you on. You're one of the centurions of the boxing world.
Yeah. I got to 119 fights before I retired. So
that is amazing, matey. That is absolutely amazing. Not many warriors made like you. You know what I mean? And you're still young as well.
Yeah. I'm just 30 years old. So I did it young. I got to 100. I think I'm 25 years old by the time I got to 100. So
104 at 26. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
You were last out against Ewan McKenzie in 2021. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was the last fight I had before I retired. So yeah.
What made you retire? What made you give it up?
I knew it was my last fight. So what made me retire in the corner on that fight, or what made me just retire from boxing?
Fair enough. We've just got a comment from Mr. Carl Widow. I'm just going to pop this on the screen quickly. He said, who was your most difficult opponent?
Oh, hard question, because I had a few hard nights.
Can I just read out some of the people you fought? He fought Reese Mould, Connor Parker, Archie Sharp, Michael Gomez Jr. twice, Maxie Hughes, Thomas Patrick Ward. That is some resume, brother.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with Max Hughes, because
that's what
the reason I say Max Hughes is, if early on in my career, and I only had 3 stoppages in my career, I only got stopped 3 times. So the last one where I retired in the corner, but Maxie Hughes were where I genuinely got stopped. Like there wasn't anything I could do to carry on. So the other 2, they were one of them. I retired in the corner once, and then when I got stopped against Sahi, I kind of took a knee. So, but with Maxi, I couldn't continue. It broke my nose. There wasn't nothing I could do to keep him off me.
That's it, mate. Yeah, that makes you a very tough operator, though, brother. To have that many fights and only be stopped 3 times.
Yeah. I only got stopped 3 times.
You must be so proud of your career, to be honest. I know you didn't win as many as you'd hoped, but bloody hell, man. You are
to be honest with you, I didn't win as many as I hoped. I never wanted to win anyway. Being honest with you, there were a couple of wins. I had a couple of wins too many. I remember there were one year where I won 2 fights in a year, and the second win I did on accident. I beat a kid called Marcus Poston, I think his name was, down in Norwich. It was a total accident. I didn't want to win. It was my last win, actually. So one of them, I never really wanted to be a winner. I wouldn't say I never wanted to be a winner, because when I first started off as a pro, I thought, oh yeah, I want to be a winner. But when I realised how hard it is to sell tickets, I just thought, forget this.
Yeah. So you just became an away fighter and just went to make some go, just get that living going.
Oh yeah. I did well out of it. I'm financially very good after boxing and what have you. So yeah, boxing were good to me. They were very, very kind to me. So I've got all my faculties in place, so I can't complain.
It's the most important, mate. It really is.
Yeah.
SWS Boxing has jumped in and said hi, Jam, and hi, Kas. That's
hi, mate.
SWS Boxing. Carl Widow is in. Being a Sheffield lad, and I was going to already ask you this, how far do you think Dalton Smith can go?
I think he'll go all the way. I watched him on the weekend. I didn't go to the arena, but I watched it at home. I remember when I was an amateur, and Dalton, he's quite a few years younger than me, and he was shit up back then. I remember him like as a young boy. I know his dad really well, Grant Smith, and what have you, from the amateurs. And I think it's a breath of fresh air for Sheffield. And so, he's definitely up there with the elites. Kind of is the next one coming through where I think he'll win a world title, definitely. See, at that weight though, it's quite a tough and competitive weight though, the 140-pound division, like. So, you know what I mean? Whether he wins the world title, but he's definitely good enough to compete up there. If not, definitely win a world title. But it'd be good for our city, like Sheffield. We've always had good fighters coming out of the city, and there's not really much going on at that kind of higher level now. So I think Dalton's going to be the next one.
Yeah, I'd agree, mate. Dalton Smith is looking like a world beater. He truly is. The way he took care of Zepeda with that body shot was something very, very special.
Yeah,
And
yeah, look good.
just bred tough in that area of the world, didn't you? You're bred tough.
Yeah, seems it, doesn't it?
It really does, mate. It really does. It
Yeah.
really does. Right. Are you actually finished in your career, or would you consider coming back?
No. There's no way I'll come back. I'm definitely done. But to say I don't miss it, I miss it every day, and I think I've still got it. I'll turn up at a show and think I can do a better job than the new journeyman coming through. But will I ever come back? No. There's no reason for me to come back. If I would love to come back as such, I miss it badly. I'm 30 years old. I believe I have a very good at what I did, but would I come back? No, because the reason I was a journeyman and fighting was to buy myself a house and become financially good. And at the end of my career, once I'd had a house and I was financially very good, the motivation weren't there for me to, get through fights. And could I be bothered to spend my weekend away from home and what have you? No, I couldn't. And yeah, maybe once I ain't got it anymore. That's the God's honest truth. I just ain't got it anymore. Like sometimes when you're having a fight, I'll give you an example. In my last fight, yeah, I retired in the corner. That isn't me. I wanted to get through no matter what, no matter how hard it got. I wanted to see the final bell. And when you're starting to retire in the corner, you just know you've not got it anymore. I think if I got punched on the nose now, I'd pull myself out, and that isn't me. So I wouldn't come back. And another thing, I've had a nose operation. After I couldn't breathe towards the back end of my career, so I've had my nose done, and I can breathe out of both nostrils. So I definitely won't be coming back. It's quite nice to be able to breathe properly.
Oh, bless you. Cole came in and said, you have fought all over the place. What's the best atmosphere you ever fought in?
Oh, that's a good question. Because when I fought a lad called DP Carr, that were on a Frank Warren show. See, I wouldn't say that was the best atmosphere. You had a lot of people there. We were at the Copper Box. We were a float fight, and we were just before the co-main event. See, that was a good atmosphere. But I think when I fought a lad called Peter Cope, did I fight him once or twice? I can't remember. But when I fought Peter Cope at the Stadium of Light, his fans, he must have only sold me. No, he was up from Newcastle, but he only must have sold a few hundred tickets, but they made some right noise. It was a right good atmosphere, so that was probably the best atmosphere I boxed in front of. But like I say, we're always nice to box on the TV shows as well. Like back when I was still fighting, Matchroom was on Sky, so I got to go on a couple of their shows, which were really nice. But once when I fought on their show, I actually boxed when there was no one there. So it wasn't actually like there was an atmosphere or anything. But later on that night, Josh Warrington boxed, and that was a really, really good atmosphere. I think he boxed Patrick Highland that night. I boxed Reece Mould. But we boxed before when the doors just opened. So the atmosphere.
That moves us great into the next question, because Sam at SWS Boxing has asked, how far do you think Reece Mould can go?
That's a good question. See, Reece is a good pal of mine. We've still got contact and what have you. I thought, this is just my opinion, I thought he won his fight against Gary Cully, so he was very unfortunate there. But how far do I think he can go? I don't know, because he's a little bit older. He's got quite a bit of wear and tear on his body and what have you. So if he does be watching this, it's no disrespect to him. Reece is a good friend of mine, but I don't know how long he's got left. I think he might have got one big fight left on him. Will he win it or not? I'm not sure. Like I say, if you're a bit younger and a bit fresher and got the opportunities what he's getting now, he may have done better. But because he's got a lot of wear and tear on his body, he's been in some hard fights. And not only that, Reece, he's an entertaining fighter, and he kind of, he goes for it. He gets stuck in. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how far will he be able to win a big title? I think he might get one more big opportunity. Will he win it with the wear and tear on him? I'm not sure.
I completely agree with you on that, Kaz, to be honest.
Yeah.
The next question I was going to ask you, mate, like at the start of your career, when you started dreaming of all the big things, who would have been your dream fight?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I never really had big dreams that if I won a Central Area title fight, I knew my level when I turned pro. I knew where I was at. I had a fair few amateur fights as well, so I had about 40 odd amateur fights as well. And I never really won anything past the kind of area level. You know, I got to the Yorkshires and maybe to the court. You know what I mean? I never got to the big, 4 in the championship. I fought a good few, all the good kids, but I never beat them. So I knew where my level were.
That's very
So
honest.
that question,
That's very honest.
that question, what you've asked me, I never really dreamed of a big fight. Being honest with you, I always thought to myself, if I won an area title, I've achieved what I wanted to achieve. See, my world title was having my 100 fight.
Well, what
getting to 100. Yeah. So for me, like when I got to the 100th fight, oh wow, that was like probably one of the best days of my life. Even now, I'll never forget that day because I'd achieved something. But once I turned pro and I went on the road, I remember the day after when I got stopped by Maxi Hughes. Honestly, you can probably check my Facebook and go back that. When I got stopped by Max Hughes, loads of people who I knew close to me were saying, you need to retire, you're done from boxing. Because I got stopped by Max in less than 10 fights.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, just sack it off, you're done. You're like, if you got, and I remember posting saying, I will get to 100 fights. No matter what happens, it's part of the journey. I wasn't sure I didn't think I'd only get stopped twice in 100, but my thing was, I want to get to 100 fights. And it was a bit of a push down, like, for me when I got stopped by Maxi, because I thought, bloody hell, a lot of people are telling me you need to sack this off now, you're going to get hurt. So when I got, and I was chasing 100, chasing. I remember even when I got stopped by Sahir Iqbal, that was roughly my 80th fight, and I was thinking, I still want to get to that 100. I never wanted to stop getting to that 100. So getting to 100 was my dream kind of thing.
Bless you.
Having a fight with a big name or something never really bothered me as such, if I'm being honest with you.
No, that's great, Kas. That's great, mate. At least you're truthful about it. Not a lot of people admit that. They'd say, "Oh, I had this big dream," and they'd shout.
No, I never had a big. I knew I was a bang average fighter. I was being honest with you. By the end of my career, I think I might have a better fighter than what I would have been because of the experience. I had such a good, and I'm not bigging myself up. I'm retired. I'm not bothered, but I had such a good defense. I see the new journeyman coming through, and they probably get hit more than they do in their 5 or 6 fights than I did in my whole career. I never got hit. I used to have such a good defense. I have a bobbing weave, and I'm all over the place.
That's great, mate,
I was very, very tight, and what have you. Nobody could hit me.
And that's why you only got stopped 3 times. You know what I mean? Like you said,
Yeah.
once was retired on your tool, so twice basically.
Yeah, definitely. And the stoppage against Sahir, I took a knee. You can watch the fight after the first round. I barely got hit, and he was just way too big. I was boxing well overweight. And I said to my cornerman that night, he goes, pull me out. He goes, you've not been hit yet. I go, right, I'll pull myself out. So I went out the next round and took a knee. First body shot where he hit me, I just said no. I remember I stood up about 6 and Mark Lyson was referee, and he goes, Kas, what do you want to do? I said, I'm done. And he just smiled, and because he knew what I was like. He refereed done, and he just smiled at me and said, all right, wave me off.
Yeah.
But he knew what I was coming at, and I just...
You know when it's time, don't you? You know when it's
time.
Yeah,
well, I'm not this. You can't win. I'm not thick, and I'm not going to get punched about when I don't need to. I can just pull myself out. I'm not going to. There's not enough money in the world to give up your health, so I just pull myself out. I manage fighters now, and I corner fighters as well. And if I'm in the corner with, I won't mention no names. If I'm in the corner with anyone, and I think they're just taking fists for no reason, I'll pull them out before they actually get knocked out. They've got no reason. There's not enough money to get knocked out or get hurt. No. So I'll pull them out.
100% agree with that, Kas, mate. I was going to ask you, that was going to be my next question, was going to be, what are you up to now and what's your plans for the future?
Yeah, so right now I'm doing code. I've got my trainer license, so I'm not a trainer as such. I had the majority of my professional career at Manor Boxing Academy, so they've got quite a few pros, really good amateurs. So I cornered a few of their pros. Carl Sampson's one of them. I had Lee Connolly, who I was cornering towards the back end of his career. Other pros, last week I cornered Funds. There's, I'm still around the game. I manage fighters myself now, so I've got a decent little stable going. So yeah, I'm just ticking over. I'm still in the sport. I'm still very much in the sport, and I love it. I miss it every day. If I thought I had what I could, what I did have, I'd love to come back and fight again. Not for the money, but I just miss it. It's hard to not miss the game. Do you know what I mean? When you've done it, you see people, the big names of boxing, like the world champions, retire and they go mentally, they don't be mentally well after, and they're depressed and what have you. But what you forget is the journeyman like myself and other various other journeymen, we do boxing more than the world champion because we're doing it every week. I remember I can't quote me on the year, but maybe 2016, 2015, 2017, I might have been having 30 fights a year or thereabouts. So every weekend, just about, I was on the road fighting, and then all of a sudden, I've stopped fighting.
Yeah, it must be hard, mate. It must be hard.
All I knew for 6, 7, 8, 9 years of my life was going on the motorway and fighting every week. That's all I knew. And then all of a sudden, you'd retire, and you don't need to go on the motorway anymore. You don't need to fight anymore. You don't need to make. It's hard. It's really hard.
It must be really.
And
that's why they call you the road warrior. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. But being honest, is there any support once you finish boxing? No.
No.
But it's just how you can mentally cope with it. And I see so many journeymen and kind of champions just kind of go off the rail. I'm very fortunate. I kind of stuck around. I had good people around me and stuck around in the game. And I'm mentally very well. And I'm still in the sport. I'm doing well in the sport. Like I've got my management and I'm doing the corners. I keep myself busy in the sport.
That's fantastic to hear, mate. I'm so proud of you. I'm so pleased for you. You are a true boxing man. You know what I mean? There's not many
definitely
fights, and that's why you're proud. That's why everyone's proud of you, and that's why you have a lot of following because you've done it the hard way, and you're a true fighting man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
It's fantastic to see, mate. And we'll wrap it up there, mate. It's been brilliant to have you on, Kas. And stay in touch with the channel, mate. We'd love to have you on again. Any fighters you've got coming through, you want them to come on with you, just come and hit us up and we'll have you on, mate.
I will do. Thank you very much, Jam. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, mate. It's been brilliant chatting to you. You take care now. I'll see you soon.
You too. Thank you. See you.